What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you're all doing very well. We're going to talk about Holy Paladin today and the new Avenging Crusader build that has come out that I'm trying out right now. If you guys don't know, Avenging Crusader got changed in the most recent patch 10.0.5. It's now costs 5 Holy Power instead of costing about 12,500 mana. It used to cost an enormous amount of mana. I think it was almost always 10% of your mana, or I forget what it was now, but it was a crazy amount of mana, and it basically was a real big choice you had to make. So it costs a lot of mana to invest in, so that wasn't a good incentive, because then you also have to spend mana to activate it with your Crusader Strike and Judgment. Those cost mana, right? So you're kind of double dipping on the mana cost, and the healing on it was good, but it was also a 2-minute cooldown, which meant like it was sort of infrequent that you were using it, and yeah, so that was a frustrating kind of thing there. But they've changed it now to be a 45-second cooldown, and it only costs 5 Holy Power. So the mana cost is gone. All you have to do is spend the mana cost to activate it with Crusader Strike and with Judgment, which is really good. And on top of that, it's a 45-second cooldown, which I think is the most significant change, actually. What it basically means is that you can have this puppy up every like all the time on every single pack, and because it lasts for 15 seconds, it really is only like a 30-second cooldown, because the cooldown on it starts as soon as you press it, right? So you press it, and then you get your wings, and you just start going to town, and then it ends, the cooldown ends, and then it only has 30 seconds left before it actually comes back, and you can press it again. So the only real problem with it now is that it costs 5 Holy Power, but there are lots of ways to generate Holy Power, most notably being Divine Toll, which immediately gives you 5 Holy Power, right? So that's really crazy. But there's lots of other ways. You can take Bestow Faith up here, which gives you Holy Power, and then your regular abilities give you Holy Power. Things like, obviously, Holy Shock on its own, and then Crusader Strike and Judgment give it to you. And if you cast, like, Flash of Light on your beacons, you could get it as well. But realistically, you're going to be generating from Judgment, from Crusader Strike, and from Holy Shock, and then Bestow Faith. Divine Toll is the big, easy one. So I really love this new cooldown, and I think it actually represents a fantastic way for Holy Paladins to play now. I think that it's like, because it's free, it's just so insane how amazing this is. Like how much healing throughput this thing pumps on its own, and you can just press it on cooldown now and not have to worry about it. In this dungeon that I did, it ended up representing 33%, almost 33% of my healing was just Avenging Crusader. That's insane. A third of my healing, more than a third of my healing, was just Avenging Crusader. So that's what you can expect out of this build. And again, you can expect to be just using it all the time, and it feels really, really good. And then you're basically supplementing this. So this is what you want to have Avenging Crusader on all the time. You're healing by doing damage, which is really great. And then once you're out of Avenging Crusader, you're trying to proc it once again with Awakening. Don't forget that your Word of Glory and your Light of Dawns can proc it, 15% chance to activate Avenging Crusader, and for 8 seconds, which is really good. If you have Avenging Crusader rolling and you use a Holy Power Spender and it triggers Awakening, you just add on to the duration of your cooldown that's already rolling. So very cool. To help support the Awakening proc chance, we of course have Empyrean Legacy, which says every 30 seconds, your next Judgment will empower your Word of Glory to automatically trigger Light of Dawn with increased effectiveness. That's a double trigger, so both of those spells have a chance to trigger Awakening. And of course, it's all leading into Divine Purpose, which your Holy Power abilities have a chance to make your next Holy Power Spender free. That also can actually work with Avenging Crusader. So Avenging Crusader is a Holy Power spender now. So if you trigger your Divine Purpose with another spell, like Word of Glory or Light of Dawn, and your next Holy Power spender is free, that can be you can press Avenging Crusader for free. So it costs no Holy Power. So instead of spending 5, you spend nothing, which is really, really cool. So it's got a lot of great synergies here with the rest of the talent tree. And then to help smooth out your healing profile, you're going to be looking at Divine Toll as that really good filler. And I'll show you in the dungeon footage in a second. But this is a really good pick-me-up. It helps keep everybody safe. And basically, when Avenging Crusader runs out, or you're not being able, you're in a bit of a lull period, you can really fill in that gap with Divine Toll and make everybody safe, which is super good. Okay? This is the tree that I would like to set up for it. In the dungeon, I actually tried Zealot's Paragon, and I was really stoked about Zealot's Paragon at first. This idea that you can extend Avenging Crusader, and multiple times, basically, if Avenging Crusader procs because of Awakening, you can take it from an 8-second duration to about a 10-second duration, which is pretty good. Again, more healing, because you can extend it with Judgment and with Hammer of Wrath, right? If you press real Avenging Crusader, the regular cooldown, it's a 15-second duration. You can extend that from, like, up to 17 to 20 seconds, basically, is Avenging Crusader the normal with Zealot's Paragon. So that felt good to me, I thought, but realistically, trying it in the dungeon, it's not really worth it. It's just not. It's actually fine to just have the baseline 15-second AC plus the Awakening procs to go along with it and to not get into that. You're going to get more value out of Dusk and Dawn. And I wish kind of this wasn't the case, but this is a pretty cool buff, actually. If you look at this, it says damage and healing in Dawn. Damage and healing increased by 9%. Holy Power spending abilities deal 8% more damage and healing. So that's 17% more damage and healing from your Holy Power abilities. So healing in particular is huge when you're in when you're in Blessing of Dawn. Like literally your spenders, which is Word of Glory and Light of Dawn, are going to hit for 17% more, and everything else is going to hit for 9% more. That's definitely more value than getting the extension on wings. I wish it wasn't the case, but it really is. So in the dungeon footage, I am running Zealot's Paragon, but realistically, guys, this is the build I'm going to link you right here, because this is just going to give you more value. So, yeah, just take that with a grain of salt there. Yeah, Seal of Order just buffs the Dusk of Dawn stuff as well, okay? So this is the build. I did also take Beacon of Faith. Now, for an enormous chunk of this dungeon, I died and forgot to reapply both of my beacons, so I feel like an absolute moron. I'll show you the footage on that. Fortunately, I do apply them later, but it's just like a big yikes. But the other option would be to take Beacon of Virtue. And Beacon of Virtue with an Avenging Crusader proc is like more healing than you're ever going to need for the rest of your life. It's absolutely insane how much healing this provides. It's a very strong cooldown. If you want to run Beacon of Virtue, by all means, go and do it. The 5,000 mana cost is not a problem at all. This build does not struggle with mana whatsoever. So if you're more of a Beacon of Virtue person, go for it. If you want a more consistent healing all the time, Beacon of Faith is the way to go. You get 2 beacons. If you want big burst healing with all your other cooldowns, Beacon of Virtue is the way to go. So it's up to you, kind of what you want to do. But this is the build. Blessing of Summer's in there as well. And yeah, let's jump over to the video footage. I'm just going to actually bring this over here, and then we're going to jump out of this, and I'm going to go to the video review, and there we go. We're going to get right into the dungeon. So let's check this out. Oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. We're back. So, this is the opening to the dungeon. I do have my beacons up right now, which is pretty fantastic. One thing you kind of want to do with all Holy Paladin builds is to spread your Holy Shocks around. You can see that I've got 2 a Glimmer of Lights going on with these 2, the Warlock and the DH. Both have glimmers on them already. You want to try and get your glimmers going, like, right away. Excuse me. Divine Toll, of course, will apply glimmers to everybody. That's when you Holy Shock somebody, they get a Glimmer of Light on them, which is very cool. Let me move this over here. There we go. We do also have Spiteful this week, which is fairly annoying for Holy Paladin because you are melee with this build, and you're trying to press Crusader Strike as much as possible, not only for Avenging Crusader healing, but also just to generate Holy Power in general for you. So very essential that you're in melee. My uptime on Avenging Crusader over the course of this dungeon was, I think, about 40% of the dungeon. So that's an outrageous amount of time to have your big cooldown going, your wings going. And remember, you still get the benefits of the original Avenging Wrath, which is 20% more damage and healing, and then on top of that, your Judgment and your Crusader Strike will also be doing more damage as well, and the healing that you're getting is based on damage. There's Blessing of Winter, of course. Blessing of Winter has been changed as well. It now just gives you mana. It gives a friendly healer their mana back. So again, there is literally no struggle. This build doesn't use a lot of mana to begin with, and now I'm getting my mana back. Here's the moment I want to highlight here. This is the big struggle with this build. If you're going to try this build, this is what you're going to struggle with. starting a fight with 0 holy power is very difficult for this build, because if people start dying really quickly, you're trying to build up to 5 holy power to press Avenging Crusader. You can see Avenging Crusader is blanked out here. I can't press it. So this is a really big struggle. Now I can press it, but I'm very low. This is super dangerous. And realistically, I should spend one of my holy power spenders on myself to keep myself alive, but I'm trying to get all the way to 5 holy power so I can press Avenging Crusader. I press it right there, and then I'm good to go. I'm fine. So sometimes you might need to min-max it a little bit and try to generate holy power as much as you possibly can. Bestow Faith is actually a fantastic way to generate holy power at the end of a pull, like outside of combat. Just throw a Bestow Faith out there. Just do it, because it will give you 1 holy power, which means you only have to get 4 more at the beginning of a fight to get the AC rolling. So that's one of the big kind of skill checks on this build, is your holy power management and making sure that you've got enough to cast AC. Like, once again, I'm starting combat. AC is coming off cooldown. This is the advantage of the 45-second cooldown. It's off cooldown all the time, but I have to get to 5 holy power. Now, I'm starting this fight with 3 holy power, so it's looking a lot better. 1 judgment, another judgment there with the Crusader Strike. I think I used a holy power spender there. There we go, and I actually got a proc on AC, so we're good to go. Now I can press AC. There we go. I can get right into my regular Avenging Crusader window, and everything's gravy. Once you press AC, it is a bunch of smart healing. Just remember that it's smart heals. The Demon Hunter was standing next to his Spiteful. He got hit by Spiteful like multiple times right there. He just got auto-attacked like 3 times by Spiteful, so there's not much you can do about that, but that's okay. Just remember, though, the AC healing is smart. It's going to hit anybody who's injured, which is really helpful. So this is the opening here. Not much else to say here. The first fight, actually, Granith is fine. There's nothing really going on with this fight. This is a bit of a weird fight for us because we're a melee healer. So we don't really want to be running out to press the crossbows, and I actually end up screwing this up. But the Warlocks were amazing. They ended up doing it for me, which was great. Really, really nice on them. Really good have ranged people helping me out. I've got Avenging Crusader ready to go. So right now we're trying to build to 5 holy power. That's what you want to be doing here. I realized that this guy was just going to do this for me. I press Divine Toll to keep everybody safe, and then I can go into my AC window. I don't have to. Sometimes on boss fights, it's okay to hold your Avenging Crusader window a little bit if there's predictable damage that's going to be coming. But this fight's kind of whatever. So we're going to skip past this. I'm going to go actually to 11:30. This is the Raging Tempest boss fight. So this is really good. This is a much better representation of how difficult this is. Now, at this point in time, I had died twice, and I don't have my beacons out. So this is literally doing this boss fight on hard mode. I don't have any beacons. Oh, it's so sad. It's so dumb, but it is what it is. Anyway, you can see here we're taking a ton of damage. If I had 2 beacons out right now, this would look much smoother. But just remember, guys, this is hard mode, basically. So I'm into AC. The proper AC window, boom, we're getting as much healing as we can. This is a very bad fight for Holy Paladin, because everybody in a pug, nobody understands that they should be stacking up, because they don't know that they don't understand what your mastery is all about. Like, they don't get it. So your mastery, you can't take advantage of your mastery in this fight. It's very difficult here. Electrical Storm's going on. The first one I cover with Divine Toll. I don't have Avenging Crusader right now, so people start getting really low, but that's okay. We're keeping them going. We're doing 41k HPS right now with no beacons. So if I can do it with no beacons, I promise you'll be able to do this build. Now, I've got Avenging Crusader coming up. I'm trying to build to 5 holy power. There we go. Avenging Crusader's out. Now we can heal people. This is why Avenging Crusader is actually so good on this fight in particular, because it's really spread out, and you can't get a huge benefit from your mastery. It's hard to heal everybody with Light of Dawn. Even if you have the 40-yard range on Light of Dawn, it can be really difficult. But AC does so much heavy lifting here. It's ridiculous. Now, I'm out of AC. The only thing I have left is my Aura Mastery. So we want to make sure that we press that. I think I pressed it on the next storm. The second Electrical Storm takes a very long time to actually get here. I'm trying to collect as many orbs as possible to get the bonus. There, and I got a proc on AC right there. This is why Awakening is so good. I healed myself with Word of Glory, and now we're basically set for the rest of the fight, because my Avenging Crusader, my proper Avenging Crusader, is coming off cooldown, and my Divine Toll is coming off cooldown, so we're fine. Here comes the Electrical Storm number 2. I've got AC. I can proc it right here if I want to. I do. And then we just go into Judgment, into Crusader Strike. It heals everybody up. I pressed Divine Toll right at the end here just to keep everybody safe. And it's perfectly fine, guys. Imagine if I had my beacons out. I would have been disgusting. It would have been crazy. Oh, my God. I can't believe I didn't have my beacons out. I hate it. When you die as a paladin, as a holy paladin, you lose all your beacons. It's really dumb, honestly. I think it's one of the dumbest things in the game. But look at the AC healing there. It did 35, 37, 42, 43% of our healing was basically 50% of our healing was Avenging Crusader. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy, dude. That's how good this can be. Let's go to 1440. Here's a really rough moment here. All the birds come down. Everybody starts getting wrecked. Everybody's really low right here. This is where your Divine Toll. This is where Divine Toll is a good pick-me-up. Watch this. Boom, press Divine Toll. And then I got to get everybody with, there we go. We get an AC proc at the exact same time. So really big here. AC's rolling actually right now. So we had about 10 seconds of it. That's fantastic. You can just, those two things in combination, Divine Toll plus AC, is really crazy. Here's a double pull that the tank does coming up here. Let me skip to it. He does a big double pull that I wasn't a fan of. I didn't think he was going to do this, but here he goes. Big double pull. This is very dangerous. I wouldn't do this on a higher key. You have time, but very dangerous. But I have Avenging Crusader. I don't have Divine Toll. I just used it, but it means I have glimmers on everybody, which is really good. There, I pop Avenging Crusader, and boom, everybody's fine. We're doing almost 30k HPS right here. Huge stuff. Got to collect my soul. I have my Blessing of Spring rolling, so I have 15% more healing done and received. I think it's 15%. I forget what the actual number is, but you can see this is a very difficult pull, and this is a lot of the pulls in here are very frustrating to navigate as a Holy Paladin. For example, there's the green swirly on the ground. I want to get in melee to do Crusader Strike, but I can't, so I have to back up, throw my Judgment, throw my Hammer of Wrath. I end up getting hit anyway. Now there's a Spiteful, so I really can't be in melee range. Very frustrating. I should use my stun on the Spiteful there so I can focus healing on the DH, who is just getting whacked by his Spiteful over and over again. Again, very frustrating. This Demon Hunter kept getting just wrecked by his Spitefuls, but it is what it is. This is part of the skill of playing Holy Paladin, is understanding how to navigate anti-melee situations. So situations that are very melee unfriendly, you need to figure out how to navigate those situations. Otherwise, you're not going to be a very good Holy Paladin. Okay? Then we do the boss fight. This boss fight, again, very bad for Holy Paladin because these guys move around a lot, and we don't have a ton of mobility, and everybody's spread out, which is very annoying. And then this Warlock DC'd. I was trying to heal him, but he DC'd. So this is a very difficult fight. One thing I want to say about this fight, you basically need to save your Divine Toll for every Gale arrow. Every single Gale arrow, you're going to need it because everybody takes so much damage here. I think I just pop it right here. Oh, no, I just skip it. I'm greeting really hard for it. There we go. I used it right there. But anyway, the next Divine Toll that comes out is a better one. Does she do it there? No. Is it up here? Here comes the Gale arrow right here. So this one right here is a lot better. Boom. I have Divine Toll ready to go in 2 seconds. And I think I pop it after. I also have my mana back with Blessing of Winter. But I have both cooldowns. If you want to save one of your cooldowns, either proper Avenging Crusader or Divine Toll needs to be used on every Gale arrow. That's what I want to say about that. Let's move to the last boss here. There's the trash packs. Here's the last boss fight. We get our Warlock back. Good to go. We're trying to organize kicks. And here we go. This fight is all about the kicks. You have to kick the adds repeatedly. And if you don't, you will just lose. So let's get past the phase 1. He runs to the middle here, and he starts channeling. So my job was to go get this ad on the far right side. I'm also going to pop Aura Mastery here right now to get some damage reduction to everybody. I kick this guy right about now. That's good. Now, I'm doing damage control. This is really rough. Everybody's dying. Avenging Crusader is a really good thing to pop right here. So I pop my Avenging Crusader in a second right there. I got 5 Holy Power. We're good. Now I can cover all the rest of the healing. As long as I don't get Storm Bolted to death. As long as I don't get Storm Bolted to death, we'll be fine. Lo and behold, I get Storm Bolted to death. And the cooldown on the Battle Res is 1 minute and 10 seconds away. So they do end up killing the adds. That's okay. So then I need these guys to just survive until I get there. So here comes the Battle Res. I'm asking them about it, but they've already used the Soul Stone. So I just need to press this button. I forget about this, but Soulstone's up. Boom. The tank's about to die here. He gets really low, so I trinket him with a shield, and then I just lay on hands. Keeps him alive, and then I pop Divine Toll into Avenging Crusader. Boom. Avenging Crusader. Look at that heal from Avenging Crusader. 61k. Everybody's fine. Now we're fine for the rest of the fight. So, very powerful combination, being able to press Divine Toll into Avenging Crusader to just get the healing rolling. It's a little bit dicey, obviously, in this example. A couple of moments I die, but I'm really rusty on this, guys. So I just wanted to show this proof of concept here. I'm only 373 item level, I think, on this dungeon, and I'm doing a plus 10. So that's basically right around where I want to be, but I'm not over-gearing this by any means. And, of course, my beacons were offline for half the damn dungeon. So just remember, I think this build can actually work. I think there's a proof of concept here that works very well. And here's the healing profile. Avenging Crusader, over the course of the entire dungeon, did 32.5% of our healing. Literally a third of our healing was just Avenging Crusader. So it does pump out a ton of healing, and it can work out very well for you. It just has all the supporting cast here, of course, is you're going to be your beacons and your holy shocks and things like Bestow Faith, generating holy power for you, so you can get closer to 5 holy power. Like I said before, you should play this build with the Dawn and Dusk talents, not with the Zealot's Paragon. I don't think extending Avenging Crusader is going to give you as much healing as the Dawn and Dusk would. So just keep that in mind. The build I'm going to link for you down below is the build that has Dawn and Dusk and not Zealot's Paragon, because I just don't think it's quite good enough. But that's Avenging Crusader, guys. The new 45-second, 5 holy power Avenging Crusader. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you like it? Have you played around with it a little bit? I'm going to keep experimenting with bigger keys on my Holy Paladin, and I think this build actually has some legs. I think it's really good. I know nobody's running it right now on like sub creation and stuff, but I actually think this is really fun. Number one, I think it actually can do a lot of damage and healing, but number two, it's actually just fun to play. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.